inZoi is losing players. Hey there, welcome to An Introvert's Paradise. I'm Kendrick Kaiju, and today we're talking about inZoi's player count. More specifically, its drop in player count. Yeah, I came across this article on thegamer.com, and doing a little side research outside of that, I went to the SteamDB webpage, and it appears the numbers check out, more or less. They go off a 24-hour peak, so depending on which day you go on, the numbers fluctuate. But for the most part, it seems like inZoi's definitely losing a ton of players. Its all-time peak was over 87,000 people playing all at once. And just looking at the stats right now, over the past 24 hours, the peak was 13,500. And right this moment, just under 9,000 people are playing. So the figure they used in the article was 85%, an 85% drop in player retention. Is that a staggering amount of players to lose? Yep. Am I surprised? Oh yeah. Am I concerned? No. Because here's the thing, I'm not trying to beat around the bush here. I'm not trying to BS anybody. Losing 85% of your audience, your customer base, in any field, in any business, in any situation is not a good thing. Because for example, let's say you owned a bakery and you're used to selling 100 pies per day. But then after 2 weeks, you start only selling anywhere between 10 to 15 pies a day. That's detrimental. If that kept up, that business is probably folding. Grandma would have to fold up shop and just bake those pies at home exclusively for her children and grandchildren. And I certainly didn't see this coming. I'm definitely really surprised that this many people fell off this quickly. Because I love the game. Now to be fair, I just checked earlier, I've spent 50 hours in-game, but I've probably spent 30, 35 of those hours in character creation, really trying to make myself as close as possible. But the time I have spent actually playing the game and not being a complete psychopath and trying to get it right, I've really enjoyed myself. Is it perfect? No. Do they got some stuff to work on? Of course. But is it to the point where it's a bad game? Absolutely not, especially given the fact that it's in early access. It's in very good shape for an early access game as far as I'm concerned. So I'm definitely surprised that it took an 85% hit. Because it's perfectly normal for games to take a hit. Because I actually got sidetracked before I even finished reading the article, so I read up until the point that it took an 85% hit. Then I had to step away from my computer for a couple hours, but the whole time I was thinking about it, I'm like, oh, well, that's not a good thing. But then I started consoling myself. I'm like, well, I think it's normal for games to lose players. Because if you think about it, just think about your life. Think about how many games you've played, but pretty early on you realized, oh, this ain't for me. And if you're lucky, you haven't played more than 2 hours, you can refund it on Steam. But then there's those times when I took a little too long to make that call, and I'm like, oh, damn it, can't refund it anymore. Oh, well, I suppose you win some and you lose some in life. Then you toss that game to the pile of games that you'll never touch again. And at that point, you become one of these lost players. And even though I couldn't come up with any examples on the top of my head, I was just sure there was plenty of games that lost like a good portion of their players, and it was fine at the end of the day. And they retained enough players over time where they made a good go at it. The only one I could come up with off the top of my head was Pal World. Because I remember it was such a big deal at the time. And then a big deal was made about it when it lost a ton of players as well. Because at least that one makes sense. That one I was not surprised by. Because you figure, after you catch the initial 100, I was gonna say monsters, but I don't want to give Nintendo's lawyers any more juice than they already have. No, Nintendo. They're pals, not pocket monsters. Don't be crazy. But that one makes sense. Once you've caught the initial batch of pals, there's not a whole lot to do after that. But with inZoi, you can make a bunch of different characters, you can make different houses, have different playthroughs, have different stories. There's a bunch of different jobs that you go to, it's not just a rabbit hole. It's one of these games that are incredibly replayable. So I'm definitely surprised that so many people have dropped off so quickly. But I'm not concerned. Because I know there are people out there who find this game boring. But here's the thing. The game is not feature complete. So someday when it has way more things to do, either that will be remedied, or the life sim simply just isn't for the people making these claims. And not for nothing, even though I don't remember exactly what was in the base game of Sims 4 when it launched, but I remember when I bought that and played it for probably the first couple days, I realized, oh my god, this game is built for expansion packs. Young naive me, I totally went into Sims 4 thinking, well, there's gotta at least be weather. There's gotta at least be some of the features that we've grown accustomed to over the years. Features that they figured out. Features that just make sense that it'd be in the base game. But nope, they definitely held all that stuff off so that the CEO's third girlfriend can have herself a yacht too, you know? But the point I'm trying to make is, now this is not scientific, I don't have charts in front of me to do the comparisons, but I just feel like what we have today in early access in inZoi is so much more than what we had in Sims 4, and they're doing just fine. They've got plenty of people playing that game day in and day out. So I'm confident, not 10 years down the line, I'm talking about a year down the line, inZoi is going to be a much better game than what Sims 4 is. And if they can make a go at it, if they can be successful, if they can retain people, I guarantee you inZoi will as well. And I know modding is going to be a big deal. The modding community is already forming around inZoi. A big reason of why The Sims 4 has lasted as long as they have is because of a dedicated modding community. And even though I don't know the ins and outs of modding, as far as I can tell, The Sims was using their own proprietary engine. Yet people were able to make gameplay script mods for that. They were able to figure that out. inZoi is built on UE5. There's plenty of people on this planet who knows the ins and outs of Unreal 5. Technically, even I could learn Unreal 5. Keyword technically. I'll just leave that to better people than myself. And from what I understand, you can do a lot with Unreal Engine 5. That's a powerful engine that can make basically any type of game as far as I can tell. So I am absolutely sure that given time, someday, a bunch of enterprising modders are going to completely transform inZoi. Because as is, what the team over there at Crafton has already done is laid the groundwork and built the skeleton for what's going to be a very good, if not great, life sim. But also, they've already created the groundwork and basis for what could be a very cool open world game of any given genre. I could totally see somebody turning inZoi into a cool zombie survival game. Because I could totally see them having decent third-person shooting mechanics. I mean, they already have drivable cars. Sure, it needs work, it needs improvements, but someday, either they or a modder's going to figure it out. And then a modder just needs to add a fuel system in there, and then boom, you're off to the races. So when I look at this article and they say things like, hey look, Marvel Rivals only lost 3% of their player base over the past 6 weeks, as opposed to inZoi in just 2 weeks losing 83%. I'm not concerned. This is definitely going to be a long game. No knock against Marvel Rivals whatsoever, I hear some great things about it, but it's an online PvP type of game, not for me. This is an introvert's paradise, not an extrovert's playground. But no knock against them, but I'm pretty certain 10 years from now, people aren't playing Marvel Rivals anymore. But I'm almost willing to bet the farm that in 10 years from now, inZoi not only will be played by people, but so many more people than they are today. Just look at Skyrim. Just look at how many people are still playing that game today strictly because of mods. I can almost guarantee you 10 years from now, inZoi will still be around, be still alive, and be doing great things. By hook or by crook, whether that's because Crafton has done a great job of supporting it over the years, but more than likely because of what mods and modders are going to be doing. This game 10 years from now will be flourishing. Alright, I think that's enough from me for today. Thank you for your time. I'm Kendra Kaiju, and this has been an Introvert's Paradise, talking about inZoi's player drop-off. Don't worry about it, as far as I'm concerned. Alright, until next time, you take care of yourself, and just make it through another day.